Hey everyone, welcome back. We're kicking off this deep dive, and I'm already stoked about this AI research we're going to unpack.
Oh, yeah. What's got you so fired up this time?
It's called MMREACT, and it's like nothing we've talked about before.
Right.
It's all about changing how we interact with technology,
Yeah.
making it way more intuitive.
Intuitive. Okay. So walk me through this MMREACT thing. What's the big deal?
So picture this. AI that's not just crunching numbers or spitting out text, but actually understanding images, sounds, you name it, all at the same time.
Multimodal AI, right. I've seen that term floating around.
Exactly. It's like giving a large language model, think ChatGPT, a set of eyes to actually see and process the world.
Okay, now that's interesting. And how does this MMREACT play into all of this? Well, it's taking that multimodal approach and combining it with what they call visual experts, which are basically like specialized AI for different visual tasks.
Visual experts, huh? So instead of one giant AI trying to do it all, it's more like a team effort.
You got it. It's like having a language whiz paired up with a team of top-notch detectives, each with their own area of expertise.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But can we get a real-world example here? How would this actually work in practice?
Okay, so imagine this. You're drowning in receipts after a business trip.
Ugh, tell me about it. The worst part of travel.
Instead of manually entering everything into a spreadsheet, you just snap photos of all those receipts.
And MMREACT takes care of the rest.
Well, exactly. It analyzes the images, pulls out the important info, even categorizes everything like meals, transport, all that.
No more expense report nightmares. I like where this is going. But it can't just be about making our lives a little easier, right? What else can this MMREACT do?
Oh, we're just getting started. Think about online shopping, for example. Instead of typing in keywords, you show MMREACT pictures of what you want.
So if I'm looking for, say, a vintage record player, I could just show it some images.
Exactly. It would understand your style, what you're looking for, and bam, it finds similar items. No more endless scrolling through irrelevant search results.
That would be a game changer. We're talking about bridging the gap between how we experience the world and how machines process information, right?
Exactly. And one of the really cool things about MMRESCT is how it uses prompting to make that happen.
Prompting. Now, there's a word we hear a lot these days.
Right. It seems like it's everywhere in AI. But before we get too deep into the technical weeds, can you remind us what prompting actually means in this context?
Well, think about it like this. You're trying to get a friend to find something for you.
Okay, got it.
You wouldn't just say, find me that thing. You'd give them clues.
Right, like, it's blue, about this big, in the back of the top drawer.
Exactly. Prompting is like giving those specific instructions to MMREACT. It's how we guide it to understand what we need and which visual expert it should call on.
So instead of just throwing any image at it, we're saying, hey, MMREACT, I need the vintage record player expert to analyze this photo.
You're getting it. It's all about focusing the power of, say, a ChatGPT onto a specific task, using those visual clues.
And this is where that whole modularity thing comes in, right? Like we talked about before with the AI Lego blocks.
Perfect analogy. We can plug in different visual experts without rebuilding the entire system each time. Like, if someone develops amazing new facial recognition software, boom, we can integrate it into MMREACT.
That's huge. AI is constantly evolving, so that kind of adaptability seems crucial. But I have to ask, building something this complex, it must take tons of data, computing power, right?
You'd think so, but that's actually a key advantage of MMREACT. Because we're tapping into these specialized visual experts, the ones that have already been trained, it bypasses that need for these massive data sets.
So it's like each of those experts comes preloaded with knowledge.
Exactly. They've already done the heavy lifting in their own domains. And what's really exciting is that this efficiency could make advanced AI more accessible.
More accessible. How so?
Imagine smaller companies, startups, even individual researchers. They could use MMREACT to create groundbreaking stuff without needing the resources of a Google or an Amazon.
That's really cool. You know, I was reading about a research team that used a system similar to MMREACT to build an app that identifies plant and insect species from photos.
See, that's the kind of thing that gets me excited. Putting powerful tools into the hands of more people, opening up new possibilities. And we're just scratching the surface here.
Okay, before we move on, we've mentioned ChatGPT and these visual experts, but what about other multimodal AI out there? Like I keep hearing about Paul. How does MMREACT compare? So give it to me straight. What makes MMREACT stand out? What's the aha moment here?
It's like, think about the difference between a general practitioner and a specialist, right?
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
It's impressive, don't get me wrong, especially with understanding how things interact in the real world. But MMREACT, it's more like laser focused. Instead of one massive AI trying to learn everything, it uses these specialized visual models, right?
Like our visual expert dream team, each one already a master in its own field.
Exactly. They've already done the hard work, whether it's facial recognition or analyzing medical scans, whatever. MMREACT just taps into that.
So it's efficient and adaptable, no need to reinvent the wheel every time.
Exactly. And that's what gets me excited because it opens up so many possibilities.
For the average person, what kind of impact are we talking about here? How will MMRACT change things?
Imagine you're walking down the street, right? And your phone isn't just showing you a map, it's giving you information about the buildings you're looking at, the history, maybe even reviews for the restaurant across the street, all in real time.
Like an augmented reality tour guide in your pocket? That's wild. But beyond these everyday uses, there are bigger implications, right? For education, healthcare.
Absolutely. Medical students using MMREACT to study anatomy in 3D, surgeons getting real-time feedback during procedures from medical imaging, even personalized learning based on how you process visual information best.
It's mind-blowing when you start to think about the potential, especially as this technology keeps evolving.
Combining MMREACT with other AI, with augmented reality, who knows what we'll be able to do. We might interact with technology less through screens and more through, well, our voices, our gestures, our surroundings.
A world where technology just blends seamlessly into our lives.
And to think we're just taking the first steps.
It's both exciting and a little daunting. As we explore these possibilities, we have to be mindful of the implications, the ethical considerations.
Absolutely. This isn't just about what we can do, but what we should do. It's a conversation we all need to be part of.
And on that note, that feels like a good place to wrap up this deep dive into the world of MMREACT.
Lots to think about.
It always is. To everyone listening, thank you for joining us, and keep those minds open as we continue to explore the ever-evolving landscape of AI. Until next time.